Hi everyone. I just wanted to say that the secret of imagining is thinking from the state you want to occupy rather than thinking of the state you want to occupy. And I'm sure most of you already know that, but how many of us actually do it every day? I don't think I'm really doing it. And the only reason I thought of it is because I was listening to a clip by Neville Goddard, of course, the master himself. And I thought, what does it actually mean, thinking from the state? Because it's not so difficult to remember to imagine the scene that would imply that you had fulfilled your desire. So you create your imaginary act, use sensory vividness, you touch objects, you hear things, you see things, and then you create that feeling of what it would be like if you were the person that you want to be. And you try and live in that feeling throughout the day and assume that you are already that person and carry it around with you everywhere. So I know I'm always saying that. But there's this part where you are thinking from the new state. So even though we're assuming that we already are what we want to be and we're feeling it as often as we can, are we thinking from the new state? As in, like planning in our head what we're going to do next, because we already are that which we want to be. And so we're thinking from that, if you see what I mean, rather than, you just telling yourself, I'm that, yeah, it's great, but you're not actually thinking from it. You know what I mean? I'm just repeating myself, aren't I? I don't make plans in my head thinking, yeah, so I want to write this other book now, and I'm going to contact my publisher, and I want to think bigger in this area, and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So we have to imagine we've attained what we want and what would be the next step, and just come up with some ideas every day. So that's really living in the state. It's not just assuming the feeling, it's thinking from the feeling, isn't it? So maybe you're doing that already. Well done. I'm not. So I just thought I would just mention it in case you're not too, and we could help each other with that one. So this week I am going to just try and think from the state every lunchtime, because at work it's quite hard to be doing that. I haven't really tried, so I should try, shouldn't I? I just try and set points throughout the day where I can build a habit. So lunchtime is a good one because I go out for a walk, so I'm by myself, and then that's when I can really do my imagining. So this week I will start thinking from the state a bit more and see if that has a positive effect. So how have you been doing with your imagining recently? I feel, for me, there are positive signs. I was feeling frustrated today just for various reasons, and sometimes it does feel that nothing ever changes, and especially with how things are at the moment. Pubs are open again, but it's not the same, and I don't go out much. And it just still feels like things are on hold a bit. So I was just thinking, it's just always like this. Groundhog Day. go to work, do this. Sometimes I look for other jobs, but not really to replace my job, just because I work 4 days. I'm looking for something on the 5th day, and there's nothing, because who's going to advertise a good job for 1 day a week? Nobody's going to. And then it makes me feel a bit down, because I think, it's like I'm too old to really start anything new. From a job perspective, but not from a business perspective. And I don't want to start a new job. I want to create something myself. And that's not to put people off who are older than me and they're thinking, I want to do this job. It's like you just got to have a plan, haven't you? I mean, maybe sometimes you have to study and start at the bottom again, but it's possible. It's something I don't really want at the moment. And there's always a lot to do at work, and then I get tired, and I don't do any writing, and that's what really annoys me, because I don't feel like I'm pushing forward. But I still keep assuming and telling myself I am this, I am that. And things do change. They're very small changes, but to encourage me, I think. And I was listening to The Prodigy this weekend. Not a new group, but a very good dance band. And I always liked them. And I just put on their music and I thought, wow, it's just so powerful and original and creative. And it really lifted me up. And I started feeling more creative from listening to this creative music. And then I was writing down things I want to do in my 50s. The person I want to be, where am I going with this? What am I going towards? That's what I'm trying to say. And it was all creative things, I want to become more authentic every day. Like, I want to get to the heart of spirituality and who I am really inside, and be that person on the outside as well. Be the person that I feel I am. And it was all about creating and just being genuine and authentic. And I thought, well, this is good. This is something different, and this feels right. So I'm moving towards what I want. And then I was playing their music when I was writing. I did a little bit of writing, but it was hardly anything. And I was finishing off a chapter of this children's story I've been writing for ages. And I just had some piano music in the background at first, because I thought if I have somebody singing, it's going to distract me with the words. And then I just said, put The Prodigy on, Siri. Can't say anything because it'll stop playing. And that's not many words. That's just something repeated over and over again, or it's electronic music. And it really helped my creativity. And I thought, I've got to go more crazy with my writing. There's no limits. You've got to be a bit funny, a bit out there. And I thought, yeah, this is going to really help. Maybe this is something that's come from my assumptions of becoming a writer and becoming more creative. And so, I'll get the structure in my mind, and then I'll start writing, and I'll put The Prodigy on or something similar, and just see where it takes me. So that was something positive that I noted here. You got to find the little things that you note that just change, just to hang on to something when you're feeling like it's always going to be like this, because it won't always be like that. We've just got to have faith, like I said in the last clip. And when you're feeling a bit like you don't feel it's ever going to happen, just put Neville Goddard on. That really helps me. Because when I hear him speaking, he is just the real deal, isn't he? He's just, He is authenticity. You can't fake that. He's actually experienced what he's speaking about, and I trust him. I believe what he's saying, and then that gets me back on the right track, and just keep doing it. And we should actually be really grateful that we know what we have to do. I should be more grateful because lots of people don't know, and it's not particularly difficult. It's just being self-disciplined. And when I was listening to one of his talks, he was talking about how we forget, and he mentioned the word, we need self-discipline, and we're not that self-disciplined as human beings. And that really struck a chord with me because I always feel that's my great weakness, a lack of self-discipline. And I know what I need to do to get over it. I need to make myself schedule, develop habits. I need to just get up earlier and just motivate myself a bit more. Write down what my main motivation is and really get that in my head. Yeah, I need to do that. I haven't found that yet, really. There's many motivations, but not a really strong overriding one. But I suppose, yeah, I just want to fulfill my potential, and I want to feel what it feels like to really be fulfilling your potential and doing what you're meant to do, and feeling that real sense of satisfaction and contentment, not imagining it, but genuinely feeling it. And it should be the same thing, shouldn't it? It should be exactly the same, but I feel that I can get a sense of it, but it's not going to be the same as when it actually happens. Because not only will it be, wow, I've achieved what I really want to do, which is going to be the first, it's going to be great. But when that comes down a bit, probably at the same time actually, it'll be, this is the evidence that it works. Even though I always knew it did, it's still going to blow my mind when something huge happens from imagining. I mean, every time we have a success, big or small, there is that shock, isn't there? Less of a shock as time goes on, but it's, how do you describe it? It's not a shock, it's just that it opens your mind for a short time. It's like the top comes off your head and you're like, wow, there you go, success. And then you get back into your more narrow way of thinking because of what's around you, objective reality, and you forget again for a while, and then it blows the top off again, and like, yeah, it does really work, it does work. So we've got to try and just keep faith when we're not having seemingly productive times, but we don't know what's going on inside in the source, do we? We don't know how long it's going to take. As he always says from the scripture, the vision has its own appointed hour. It ripens and it will flower. If it be long, what is it? I didn't look at it before I started. Then wait. It's from the book of Habakkuk. So annoying, Gwen. I should learn the scripture off by heart, all the different bits that are relevant so I can call upon it. And I don't mean just for YouTube videos, just because there's something very sacred in the words and very inspiring, and it can really help us when we need it, if you know what I mean. So maybe I've rambled on long enough there. I keep doing these clips on a Sunday night when I'm a bit tired and I don't really know what to say, so forgive me for that. I hope there's still something in there that is useful to you, and I just really want to make contact. And it was a very joyous weekend for people who support England because we won at the football, yay! 4-0 against Ukraine, so that was brilliant. And I don't normally watch football, I just watch the World Cup, but I really felt I got it this time, at least a little bit, just a little bit, because I'm not going to take away from people who've been following football all their life, and then there's just me comes along and I'm like, yeah, I love it. But I felt the surprise and the utter joy when the goal went in, the first goal from the previous match by Sterling, and that was just great, you know. And then the second one went in. And then with this match, Kane scored within 4 minutes of the game starting, which was really brilliant. And there was a totally different feel to it. It was really relaxed and victorious from the beginning. There was no doubt that we were not going to win. We were going to win, you know. So we're in the semi-finals now on Wednesday, and I'm going to watch that. And yeah, it just made me feel really good. And it does really bring people together, football. It can really bring people together, and really appreciate that. So here's hoping that England are going to win the whole thing. Why not? They are the best team and they're doing really well. So yeah, really, really hope they win. Sorry about that if you know nothing about football or you're not interested, but I had to mark the time in this clip. So is there anything else? No, not really. What do you think about thinking from the state? What do you think of when you do that? I guess it's all different things because everybody's got different desires. I have to admit, I do that for some things. It seems to take over when I'm totally motivated by something. As soon as I go for a walk, it starts going on in my head and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So I say I don't do it, but it does happen with some things. I want it to happen with writing. I'm not thinking of that so much. I'm thinking of other things at the moment, which I haven't shared with anybody because it just feels really crazy. But it's not crazy. I'll mention it another time anyway. I hope you are doing really well. I hope you've had some success, and hope you like the clip. Let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about or read from, and I'll do it. Right, I'm going to go now. So take care, people, and have a good week. Speak to you soon.